Hello, everybody. Welcome to a solo Sunday Funday because unfortunately Megan didn't want to see the movie that I saw this week, which I can't 100% blame her. One, she's not a huge zombie connoisseur like I am, and two, she hasn't been as fairly indoctrinated with horror films as I wish I could have done. Oh, I guess I must do better, my wonderful subscribers. Oh well. As you can guess, though, the movie that I am here to actually talk about is hashtag alive. Which, honestly, I think there's actually a better title. I will get to it here in a bit. So, to talk about this film, those who are wondering what in the world is hashtag alive, I've not heard of it. Why are you not talking about Antebellum? To answer the last question first, that many people might be wondering, including myself, I was wondering if I should just review Antebellum instead. I don't care about Antebellum. This is a true, honest thing. Alright, hear me out here. If I need to see another Village film, I will shoot myself in the foot instead. Because it's a better waste of my time. I know people want to make a big deal about the fact that, oh, it has so much to do with race in America. Don't you care about the race in America? The message is so fucking on the nose. And so, get it? Racism! Slavery! It's so fucking straight out there, I don't fucking care. It's like, okay, I get what you're trying to say. You're saying it like a ball peen hammer straight to my face. You have no subtlety, and on top of that, I don't give a fuck. I've seen this kind of movie before. Again, The Village. And guess what? It fucking sucked then. It's gonna fucking suck now. So why would I watch something I'm not going to enjoy? I don't know. I might watch the movie. It might be one of the best films ever. Originally, I thought the whole idea behind the movie was that, oh, she, got kidnapped and buried, but it turns out she actually truly did get transported back to slavery. Like back in the, let's say, early 1800s, late 1700s. That would be an interesting movie to me. Of course, that would also be an interesting idea, that somebody was going back in time and kidnapping people, especially those who might be seen as possible prominent figures coming up, so this way to remove them completely from history. That is actually an interesting movie. That is something that you could have good symbolism with. That piece of shit does not have any of that. It has the same subtlety as a fucking nuclear bomb. I don't care. So instead, I'd rather watch a zombie movie. So I really just saw the trailer for this on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie, of course. I didn't particularly like the title because hashtag live is so stupid. And honestly, there's a better hashtag. I will survive is actually probably a better one for the film because honestly, that is the whole thing of the movie. Hashtag alive is all about surviving. It's not about just being alive. It's about trying to survive in, of course, a zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse here is very reminiscent of, say, like a 28 days later. It's a rage virus. It's a virus that infects the brain and makes them bleed out their eyes and stuff like that, and they just become crazy, monsters is the best way. They like to feed on people, everything. So, that's not fairly new. Well, what does this film do that's any new? Honestly, it focuses on surviving a lot. It seems weird to describe it that way, but think about a lot of the zombie flicks that we've had within the past, say, 20 years. Very few of them have focused a lot on the whole surviving aspect. Or if they have, they've done it for comedic effect, i.e. Zombieland. And in Zombieland 2, of course. Here, the whole motif is actually meant to be pure horror based. And in fact, it tries to touch on what, you really should do when it comes to dealing with an actual zombie apocalypse. And also, you follow around a young guy. I'm going to butcher his name, and I had it pulled up here. I'm just going to call him Gamer, because pretty much that's his big shtick. He's a bit of a gamer. Or he streams, he puts out videos even on YouTube and shit like that. And hey, I'm like, cool, I'll watch it, see how it is, and you actually kind of feel for the guy. There's nothing really bad about the guy. He's a little lazy at the beginning, you think, but nah, he's worried about his family, about them being possibly dead or what's happened to him. And in fact, I would say probably over half of it all deals with him trying to figure out what has happened with his family. That is actually really interesting film to try and watch. And I was like, okay, that's not something you usually tend to see, at least so like constricted. Like this film, like 90% of it takes place within this one apartment, till eventually we get introduced to another character later on. And technically, there is a total of maybe 3 characters in this entire movie. One of them only gets introduced in about the last 15 minutes or so. Just let y'all know that is the crazy survivor. But not to give away too much of the movie, they again do something that is surprising. One, the crazy survivor, it's understandable. You don't agree with the methods, you can understand it though, because it's survivor's remorse in all essence that a person's going through. And because of that, they tend to do heinous things. But not like the truly stupid, dumb, heinous things that we always see in shit like The Walking Dead, where, oh, I just randomly kill and rape because that's my MO. Ha ha ha. Because I lived, I rape and kill, rape and kill, rape and kill. I cannot believe how much I don't give a shit about The Walking Dead, or haven't so long. It's one of the problems that's always plagued many zombie flicks is that they've needed to figure out what to do with a pretty much bad guy and to give another negative element in a way. Because you can't just have characters fighting off zombies for an hour and a half. I think you probably could, but it will begin to get a little tedious, especially since honestly, if anybody can have any issues with this movie, I personally didn't. They might say the movie's a little bereft of action. But to be fair, again, the name of the game is surviving, not actually going out to fight the zombies like you're in Dead Rising. But here, with the fact that they do have a bad guy, they have a bad character, he's not a rapist. He's not a just wanton murderer or anything like that. There is some humanity left within him. It's just twisted. And that's where I think the movie actually does quite excel. Like, all these people, you can either relate to them, understand, or you like all the characters. One, you understand, you don't like him, you don't relate to him that well. The other 2 characters you relate and you understand in them. And there's actually a lot that's really enjoyable with them. And of course, those who do not know, this is of course a Korean film because Korea has put out some of the best zombie flicks in a while. Those who are wondering if I am talking any shit about Train to Busan or anything like that, honestly, I haven't finished watching. It was one of those movies, I watched a bit of it and I was like, okay, I might come back to it because, and this is also the reason why I quit watching stuff as much on Netflix. When it was on Netflix, and I got to take it off, like, because I put it off for, like, a week. And it's like, oh, hey, we took that off. You didn't need to finish that, did you? Thanks, Netflix. But yeah, I found it again on their streaming site, so I'm going to watch it that way. And I might give a review on it, or I might just randomly tweet out about Train to Busan. But yeah, it seems like Korea lately has actually been able to tap into the best aspects of zombie flicks, especially in terms of horror-based zombie flicks, because that is what the whole name of the game is. There's not really like comedy here, and in fact, there's a lot of really terrifying elements. Like there's some legitimate jump scares this movie has, but they're all have a good payoff. It doesn't feel like the cat jump scare, but there is like legitimate stuff that really makes you feel on the edge of your seat. There's shit that makes you, you know, scared for the characters, and that's the things like because they make you care about the characters, you care about what's happening to them. What a marvelous invention! I don't know why this is so weird to people, especially nowadays when making many horror films, but I digress there. Like I said, I actually care what's happening here. I care about the main character. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Gamer. And then I care about the other young lady who's mentioned, like who comes up later on in the movie. I'd say probably about at the 2/3 mark, give or take. She is. I will call her. I actually remember her name is Yoon Bean, I believe is how it's pronounced. But I'm gonna call her badass because she is kind of badass. But she's not like a Michonne. Like I just carry a samurai sword and just whip ass like it's nothing. But she can, like she's been into like hiking and shit like that because she has a lot of hiking gear with her, and also she has like mountain climbing gear. And she talks about the fact she actually does like mountain climbing. And at one point, and she kind of kicks ass whenever she needs to, but she can easily be overwhelmed like anybody. Okay, I forgot to mute my phone. Sorry. But I don't know. Maybe because of the fact that they actually, just to give away a bit of the movie, but it's not too much of a giveaway. They don't have them form a sexual relationship. It's just they're survivors. They're together and they are trying to figure out their way out of this terrible situation. Because of that, I actually care about it more. I don't care about the fact that, oh, well, they're trying to have sex with each other, or that if they do have sex with each other, or anything. I care about the fact that they really make for an interesting group dynamic. Because she, pretty much, to give away a bit of the movie, saves him from killing himself. Because at one point, our main character, who's the gamer, sorry, can't remember your name, I'm terrible and I'm dumb American. I could look it up, but... But she saves him from, attempting suicide. And some may say, oh, well, he tried it, and he shouldn't have done it or anything like that. Sorry. Because, oh, well, he should have just been stronger. At that point, he was 20 days without any food and barely any water. In fact, pretty much he was having to rely upon his dad's liquor cabinet. And because of that, you actually kind of care about the character and you understand this plight. It's like, yeah, you're looking at starvation. Pretty much you're going to die via starvation instead of actually, oh, you won't get killed by his characters, thankfully. You won't die in absolute agony and possibly kill anybody else that you might care or love about. But you are going to be, you're going to die in a very terrible way, too. I don't know. I really dug this film. There's a lot that's done really well. At worst, you can say you can nitpick certain things, like the diabolical character at the end. He somehow drugs them, but you don't know how he drugs them. It's obviously not in their water because he's pouring water out of his own water bottle and he's drinking it beforehand to prove to them he is on the up and up. But they... I don't care that much. If you want to be that guy, I can't agree with you there. It's at best a minor nitpick, and I cannot bring myself to give that many shits, especially over a scene that's really fucking tense. And also, here's another thing I want to warn everybody about this movie. Fucking claustrophobic as fuck. I am not the kind of person who gets extreme claustrophobia. Though 1917 really pushed that. It was like, times it was like, get the fuck out of this place. I hate it. I hate it so much. This, though, still kind of got me sometimes. At times, like, I hate this so much. I want out of the spot. But, again, that helps to build a tension here. Because, realistically, this takes place within this one, apartment complex. That's it. Just this one area. Which I liked, again, because we just see these survivors' tales. We get to see what happens with them. but it makes you just so fucking tense, like by the end, just clawing into my fucking chair here. You're trying to be like, I gotta hate it so much, get me out of here. But I hate it in the best of ways. So, yeah, I fucking dug the shit out of this movie. If you want a score, it feels really high, but damn it, I don't care. It's a 10. This is one of the best actual straight up horror zombie films I have seen in a while. There is really damn good practical effects. There is minimal use of CGI in certain scenes when kind of has to have CGI, which I'm fine with. And the CGI is not atrocious, at least. And it's not also in your face like fucking World War Z. And on top of that, you have some of the more relatable and characters that you can actually give a shit about. And by having just such a small group, you actually feel a lot more tension when they are in peril. Like whenever you have a group of 6 or 7, you know some bitches are getting offed. Like the zombies are pretty much a slasher villain that is just going to eventually consume one of the group. Here, that never happens, at least in terms of like, oh, we're waiting for one of them to die, because realistically there's only 2. But you do still but because of that, it heightens every little bit that any of these characters are in the slightest bit of danger. That is truly building a good horror element. That is making you give a shit about what is happening. And not only that, I have to mention that cinematography for this film is fucking good. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's really damn good. Like, there is sometimes whenever it does have to obviously do some bit of close-ups, but whenever it's in the more claustrophobic situations where it should be really, really up close and in the character's face almost, it actually backs up just the right amount so you can get the terror that's happening here. You can get what's happening with them and really feel for the situation. I can't help it. I cannot recommend this enough. It's one of the better zombie flicks that you can watch right now. It's one of the best zombie flicks right now that's on Netflix. It's one of the best ones you could stream and that I have seen, Train to Busan not included, though what I have seen, watch that too. It's really damn good and gory. But here, you just have such an actually damn good zombie flick. Like, I've not seen one that's actually tried to be this, like, horror, but still not be like, I'm going to try and do as much, like, blood and guts to the point to where it's like, it kind of becomes almost a parody in and of itself. This just attempts to be a damn good horror film that really leaves you on the edge of your seat the entire way. I cannot say enough good things about this. Like I said, the biggest problem I could say is a nitpick that I didn't even give a shit about. That I only bring it up because I know there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, well, this happened and that's totally unrealistic. Who fucking cares? There are loads worse things than one way how a guy drugs 2 people and I don't know what happened or how he slipped it in there. I'm not going to worry that much about things. Whenever there is an entire film out there that can't even explain its own fucking science fiction for time traveling properly. But yeah, so that's hashtag alive. Let me know what you thought about it. And if you liked it, if you hated it, if you're curious about it. And you wonder if this actually worth a damn. And you want to ask me more about it, let me know. And till then, at least it's a good way to begin October, because October's coming up next week. And yeah, we're going to start getting some more horror elements here. But hey, until then, I'll see you all later. So, bye-bye, everybody.